On News 5 Live, new leader of the opposition sworn in by the Governor General. Orange Walk shooting victim surviving despite bullet to the brain. And public outrage ends Dangriga's dog eradication plan. These stories and more up next on News 5 Live.
The ministry is collaborating with SpeedNet Communications to have a vaccination campaign for children ages 12 to 17 years. Children who get vaccinated will get a chance to win fabulous prizes, including backpacks with supplies, Nintendo Switch, tablets, book tuitions, and MiFi with 3 months data. Only children 12 to 17 years old can participate in this smart and Ministry of Health and Wellness raffle. At vaccination sites, each vaccinated child, upon being vaccinated, will receive a ticket to place their name, age, date of birth, BHIS number, and contact information on, which will be filled out by a parent or legal guardian. The sooner a person vaccinates, the more chances he or she will have to win. Get vaccinated, please. Vaccination saves lives.
New Year's is a time for us to make hearty resolutions that will help us better our lives, and then promptly forget about them. However, there are some resolutions we shouldn't forget about. Join us for our new series, 100%, where we'll be talking about being 100% in on things like our relationship with God, our spouses, finances, and more. Tune in at 10 a.m. right here on Channel 5 Belize.
If you're looking for low-cost television advertising, have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our daily classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, February 1st. I am Sabrina Daly. The reins of the parliamentary leadership of the United Democratic Party were formally handed over to Shine Barrow during a brief ceremony this morning in Belmopan. Along with his wife and daughter, the area representative from Mesopotamia presented himself at Belize House, where he was administered the oath of office as the 15th leader of the opposition. His ascension this second time around follows the resignation of former party leader Patrick Faber, who also stepped down as leader of the opposition on January 31st. Barrow spoke confidently of having the majority support of his party following a meeting of the Caucus for Change this past weekend.
I'm humbled and honored to have the distinct privilege to serve as leader of the opposition.
Explain to me the circumstances that brought you here are that the party leader and leader of the opposition has resigned. But has he in fact resigned? Is there a formal resignation?
His resignation is effective yesterday and we have moved on.
But you haven't seen a letter of resignation per se?
I didn't see a letter. You have to speak to the interim party leader, Senator Michael Perfit.
Okay, so now what, in terms of this moment right now, you know, last time you were leader of the opposition for 84 days. There's a convention coming up in about 50 plus days. Leader of the opposition after the convention on March 27th?
I do believe so. I have the majority of support in the House of Representatives on the opposition benches. I have the majority of support within the 31 constituencies, as we've seen with the massive endorsement from the Caucus for Change. And we had 53% of the delegates that voted to recall in July of 2021, and as you can remember, I led that charge, and those delegates remember me very well.
I thought it was
and I have visited with them just as recently as the holidays and before that, and I've stayed in touch with them, and so they believe that we needed new leadership then, and they believe that now, and anyone that will come and to present themselves as that alternative, that opportunity has already passed.
Barrow's oath of office is now recognized by the Governor General of Belize. Albert Area Representative Tracy Panton, who is also vying for party leader this week, cited the Constitution of the UDP as the basis upon which she should be the one to become leader of the opposition. After all, she is the most senior politician on the opposition bench following Deputy Party Leader Hugo Pat, who has passed on the opportunity. Here's Shine's response to that question.
The Belize Constitution is the supreme law of the land. The Governor General has spoken, and I don't think there's any merit to that unfounded, desperate claim. I think it's very bad for the Honorable Panton to stoop so low when history will record that when she had the opportunity to stand up for all GVB victims, when she had the opportunity to stand up for women, when she had the opportunity to stand up for the United Democratic Party, when she had the opportunity to stand up for the country of Belize, who desperately needs a viable opposition, she refused. She stood up for the accused. She made a deal with the accused who, unlike me, that was not the first instance. That was the third instance that we knew of, and she chose to be an apologist. She chose to be a sympathizer rather than stand up. So she should be the last one to talk about those issues, and it is really shameful to use such a serious issue as a political tool.
Today, Shine Barrow also commented on Patrick Faber's leadership of the United Democratic Party and his own support for Faber in the past. Barrow says he gave Faber a fair chance to lead the UDP. He called out those who put self-interest and their own political survival first.
If you recall, in 2019-2020 for the first convention, again, an overwhelming majority of the standard bearers, you know this for a fact, there were members of cabinet that said they would resign if the former leader of the party were to become leader. All of them supported Mr. Saldivar to be leader. The former leader of the party lost handedly. Whatever happened to Mr. Saldivar happened, and there were members of cabinet that said, if anyone I want to put in on a name, will resign from cabinet. The point is, regardless of what happened to Mr. Saldivar, nobody wanted Mr. Faber to lead the party.
You wanted him, Shine. You were out there campaigning for him.
I gave him a chance. I gave him a chance because their campaign is so aggressive. But we saw in the general elections that that is not so. We only won 5 seats. We saw again in the municipal elections where we only won a mayor and a councillor, right? And again, the writing was on the wall. We saw again, after being given the opportunity by people like me, against my good wisdom, gave him the opportunity, and he failed on many fronts, not just private matters, but in internal management of the party. There was a massive failure. But you could argue, as you have said, Mr. Vasquez, that we knew this all along. But shame on those people that tolerated this and now want to use one of our party organs to all of a sudden have a voice to endorse another candidate. And that's the problem with the rebuilding. We have people in the party who are only concerned with their self-interest, only concerned with their preservation of power, and we have to come off of that.
In discussing Tracy Panton's bid for leadership, Barrow said along with the broader membership of the United Democratic Party, he was prepared to rally around her in 2021 when Patrick Faber was removed as leader of the opposition. The new leader of the opposition claims Panton's decision to tactically support the embattled party leader, Faber, has backfired.
When I led the charge in the recall, along with the Caucus for Change, I begged the Honorable Panton to be the leader of the opposition. We begged her to take up the position so that we can show the country this is who the UDP is, and let us move on and start that rebuilding process around her. I would have been her party whip. I would have done everything. All of us would have come around her. She chose Patrick over principle, right? So there is no hunger, there is no greed on my part, but there is a necessity. There is a necessity when those who should be or would be fall asleep, right? Waiting for the dawn of entitlement. Those of us that toil tirelessly in the midnight hours for what is best for the country, what is best for the party, they step up. And that is what I'm doing now.
Belize's border crossings with Mexico and Guatemala are slated to reopen on February 7th. The reopening has been postponed twice already, but during today's cabinet meeting, time was spent deliberating exactly how it will all work. Several COVID-19 protocols will be put in place, but details have yet to be released. What we do know so far is that only fully vaccinated persons will be able to travel across, but the border stations will not be open for 24 hours, rather only between 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily. We await further information from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. But this is exciting news for the many Belizeans eagerly anticipating the reopening. The borders have been closed for almost 2 years, since April 5th of 2020, in response to the pandemic. Prime Minister John Briceño is facing his second bout with COVID-19 after testing positive over the weekend. News 5 has confirmed he went directly into quarantine and is at this time asymptomatic. We were also informed that parliamentarians will proceed with the sitting of the House of Representatives scheduled for this coming Friday. PM Briceño will reportedly be tested again ahead of Friday's event. The Prime Minister and a delegation from Belize were in Honduras last week for the presidential inauguration. Coming up, he was shot while working in a bakery. Find out how an Orange Walk man is doing after taking a bullet to his head. Details when we return.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "For God did not call us to be impure, but to live a holy life. Therefore, he who rejects his instruction does not reject man, but God, who gives you his Holy Spirit." I once asked a friend of mine, "Charlie, why is it that some Christians seem to do anything they want to do and get away with it, when if I even think something wrong, the Lord deeply convicts me?" He replied, "Bob, thank God he does, for that only proves that you're a child of God and that the Holy Spirit is working in you." The Bible says, "My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth." The best evidence that one is a child of God is that they cannot live unholy lives and get away with deliberate sinning. I often think of Mary Jo White, a young lady who had been in a car wreck and left paralyzed from her waist down. She felt nothing from her waist down, not even the bed sores on her body. We normally shun pain, but she would have rejoiced if she could have felt it, because she would have known that there was life in her body again. So remember, when you sin and get caught and feel the pain of conviction, it only proves that you are a child of God and the Holy Spirit is alive and active in your life. This is the real reason why some can and others can't. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
The premier name in voice and data, is also the country's leading provider of innovative services and solutions for small business and enterprise. At DigiBusiness, we offer solutions, tools, and applications to support your business needs. Reduce costs, improve efficiency, and excel in a changing world where no idea is too big and no task is too small. From technology advising to design implementation and management, our team of qualified solution sales and specialists can develop a reliable and robust infrastructure, allowing you to spend more time on what matters most, your business. Visit us online to explore how DigiBusiness innovative products and solutions can help your business reduce costs and improve efficiency.
I visited the land of Serbia, a great many miles away. I ascended the Mount Everest few people have conquered. I roared on the snow-covered Antarctic and Arctic. I rolled swiftly across the vast, untamed desert. Ling Long Tire conquers every corner of the world.
Distributed by Enrique Martinez and Sons Limited, 2 miles Philip Golson Highway, Belize City.
A man was shot in his head on Monday night. Amazingly, while he suffered serious injury and remains hospitalized, he survived the attack. News 5's Marian Ali was in Orange Walk today and files this report.
Hernan Godoy, an employee of Cal's Bakery in Trial Farm Village, Orange Walk, was reportedly packing bread inside the bakery sometime around 7:45 p.m. when a barrage of bullets ripped through the open door. One of the slugs struck Godoy in the right side of the forehead and remains lodged in his skull. One of his relatives told News 5 off camera that she was not far away when the shots rang out.
When I heard the shots, well, not the shots, I thought it was palomita. When I tell my daughter, hey, who is popping palomita at this time? She looked at me and then she said, Mom, that's not palomita, that's gunshot. Close the door. When I heard the guy from inside the bakery is saying, Miss Cal, they shoot me, I got hit. Call the police, call me, my pa. When I peep, I see he's holding his foreign and he's pouring blood right in front of the door.
Miraculously, Godoy is listed in stable condition and is reportedly able to eat. Doctors are conducting CT scans on his head to determine the extent of the injury. Police, meanwhile, are gathering whatever evidence they can to solve this latest case of attempted murder. But what triggered the incident is what investigators and the family is puzzled about.
First time we experience this, and the boy is no kind of guy that is finding problems. He comes to work at 9, he comes out at 9 at night or sometimes at 10, depends on what time he finish packing bread, because he's the one that packs the whole bread from morning.
Scenes of crime personnel have collected 5 expended 9mm shells from the scene. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
The Caribbean Court of Justice handed down their ruling today in a case pursued by Belize against Trinidad and Tobago. Belize had contended it had evidence to show that between November 2018 and June 2020, Trinidad purchased brown sugar from non-CARICOM states without imposing the 40% common external tariff. In November of 2021, Belize filed suit with the CCJ, which also acts as an international tribunal interpreting the Treaty of Chaguaramas. Belize was represented by senior counsel Andrew Marshallek and Samantha Matute. We spoke to Marshallek today, who first gave us insight into what prompted the legal challenge.
BSI was having difficulty selling brown sugar into Trinidad because it couldn't meet the prices that the purchasers in Trinidad insisted that they could get brown sugar for. The prices were very low. And this was the first signal, because BSI took the position that there was no way that anybody can sell brown sugar cheaper to Trinidad if the CET was being charged than the prices they could offer. So that they were of the view that whatever was happening there, it was causing a market distortion on the ground that was driving the prices so low that not even BSI, whose sugar is not subject to the CET, could compete. So they conducted investigations, and they were able to uncover a number of shipments leaving from this region, Honduras, Guatemala, and heading for Trinidad. But the information didn't have the particularity, nor were we able to get the primary sources of that information before the court to testify to it. It's a difficult proposition. You see, all the documentation evidencing the importation would necessarily be with Trinidad. They know what they did, what was imported when, and what the documentation is. So we had sought, based on the preliminary information, to get orders of disclosure from the court to force Trinidad to turn over documents that they had to show that what the circumstantial evidence showed was happening, which is that that brown sugar was being imported without charging the CET.
And how did that play out? Were those documents released?
No, what Trinidad did was simply to go on its Asikuda system and print off all the invoices, all the entries for brown sugar, and all of them necessarily showed that the CET was charged. You see, the charges in the computer system are automated, so once they're there, it means it was charged. The ones that concern us are the ones that are not there.
Caribbean Court of Justice ruled that there were severe shortcomings in the evidence offered by Belize to substantiate the allegations made against the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Senior Counsel Marshall Eck responded to the court's ruling.
What the court ruled was that the quality of the evidence offered by Belize as to those allegations didn't come to prove that it wasn't sufficient to cast a burden on Trinidad to have to explain what happened, which is what we had argued in the proceeding before the court, that we're able to rely on circumstantial evidence, and that would shift the burden to Trinidad to explain that they didn't, to offer proof as to what happened, to show that they didn't import brown sugar without charging the CET. The proof that Belize offered was some shipments from Guatemala and Honduras, and it was gathered by personnel from BSI, largely from some databases that are kept by regional producers in Guatemala, in Central America. And unfortunately, the database wasn't verified before the court, so it didn't meet the requisite quality.
Belize does, however, have 5 years to appeal today's CCJ ruling. This can occur at any point if new evidence comes to light. It is hoped that this window of opportunity will cause greater monitoring of brown sugar imports in Trinidad and Tobago, as well as instill pressure to honor the treaty obligations.
The thing with the exercise of the original jurisdiction, though, and it's a unique feature, at any time up to 5 years from the judgment, that would be from today, it's open to Belize to apply for the judgment to be revised if new evidence should come into the position of Belize showing that the relief sought should be granted. So what the claim has done is cause greater scrutiny on the importation of sugar into Trinidad. And in an environment of heightened scrutiny, it will be far more difficult for those kinds of acts that we complained of to happen again in the future going forward. It will be more difficult for brown sugar to enter Trinidad without the CET being charged. CARICOM has now established a monitoring mechanism, a reporting requirement for it. So there's some level of supervision of whether or not the charges are being imposed. And of course, there's the possibility of uncovering evidence as to exactly what happened and going back and asking the court to revisit the position. So I think those two things create a pressure, a positive pressure, for the treaty obligations to be met going forward, so that BSI doesn't experience the kinds of problems it had in the past, which gave rise to the claim.
In a separate ruling released on Monday, the Caribbean Court of Justice remitted for further hearing a dispute between the Belmopan Land Development Corporation and the Attorney General of Belize. The dispute is over the valuation of over 1,000 acres of land acquired by the government from the Belmopan Land Development Corporation. After GOB took possession, BLDC requested payment at fair market value. Both parties went into negotiations, but were unsuccessful in reaching an agreement. BLDC then filed a constitutional action claiming damages. A BLDC land appraiser argued in court that the land should be valued as city expansion for $16 million, and the trial judge accepted the opinion. The Court of Appeal and the majority of the CCJ, on the other hand, decided that the manner in which BLDC's land appraiser arrived at his conclusion was flawed. CCJ further decided that the cases should be remitted for further evidence. The court also ordered GOB to make an interim payment to BLDC in the sum of $6 million Belize dollars with interest from the 1st of January 2014. After the break, Central American security heads convened in Belize. Details when we return.
Keep your business running efficiently with computer products and accessories from Cellular World. We are the largest electronics stores in Belize, providing business solutions from trusted brands including Dell, HP, Lenovo, and Samsung, just to name a few. Our range of business PCs and electronics include desktop computers, laptops, desktop monitors, mouses, battery backups, smart TVs, and computer accessories that are backed up by warranties to keep your business always running smoothly. Call or visit us at any of our 5 Cellular World locations in Belize City, Belmopan, or San Pedro, and let our knowledgeable team help you to find the right solutions. Cellular World, low prices, more choices.
Who offers the best mobile experience in Belize? You don't know? Well, the truth is, Digi, our national telecom, of course. Digi has the largest mobile LTE advanced network with over 96% countrywide coverage, offering the fastest mobile LTE data speeds at the most affordable rates with mobile plans that fit your lifestyle. The truth is, only Digi gives the ultimate mobile LTE experience. Visit your nearest Digi store to join the bigger, better network today. Digi, our national telecom. Visit us online at www.livedigi.com.
The BWS app is here and is available for download from the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. BWS customers can use the app to view water usage and current bill, read your own meter, apply for new residential and commercial connections, apply for reconnection, make reports, contact BWS customer service, and much more. Download the BWS app today.
Belize Water Services, delivering water and more.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benque Viejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Bundle the fastest, most reliable, unlimited broadband in Belize with your prepaid or postpaid mobile plan or Netflix. You can bundle your broadband with your prepaid and enjoy 50% off all national calls, plus get SMS and data. Paid plans? Then bundle with any speed and pay only $25 extra monthly to enjoy unlimited smart-to-smart calls, plus 500 minutes, plus 6,300 megabytes of data. Stream unlimited HD movies and TV shows with our broadband, plus the Netflix add-on for only $30 monthly, and enjoy streaming on your laptop, TV, phone, or tablet. Visit a smart showroom near you to sign up or upgrade to the bundle that's right for you. Smart, bringing people together.
Belize is hosting the 2022 Central American Security Conference with high-level defense and security leaders from the United States, Central America, and other countries within the hemisphere. The Ministry of National Defense, along with the U.S. Southern Command, SOUTHCOM, is hosting this year's summit for the first time since 2011. The U.S. delegation is led by SOUTHCOM Commander General Laura Richardson, and the Belizean delegation is being led by Brigadier General Azariel Loria of the Belize Defense Force. The conference is held annually to facilitate dialogue between regional security leaders as part of a continuing commitment to strengthen cooperative ties and achieve shared security goals. With domestic violence allegations forcing the leader of the opposition to step down, the spotlight has been on partner abuse and victim blaming, especially on social media. This morning on Channel 5's Open Your Eyes, psychologist Dr. Anel Martinez spoke about how abusers begin to control and isolate their partners, even from the start of the relationships. She also spoke about why some victims choose to stay, believing their partner needs them to help manage their anger, or in her words, fight their demons.
You're starting a relationship and there's just this level of intensity to the relationship. That could be a red flag. I'm not saying that all intense relationship will turn into abusive relationships, but that's how it starts. So I'm showing you that I love you and you are the best thing that happened in this world just before I start to isolate you. So I want you to spend more time with me because you're supposed to love me. You're supposed to want to on the phone with me. You're supposed to want to talk to me. You're supposed to be checking in on me or checking in with me about your whereabouts. And then guilting you into you should spend time with me and not with your friends. You know, we're in this relationship together now. It's about us. And so that lets you start to cancel engagements with your friends, with your family. He starts yelling at her, breathing up in her face, talking down to her, and then he apologizes. You know what? I didn't mean to. It's because of my trauma. You know, they blame all these other things for the root cause of their relationship. It's not about you. It's what I've been through. And that puts the person in a situation where they feel like, I am the strong person who has to keep my dysfunctional partner grounded. So they find a sense of purpose in that relationship.
Yeah.
Because I have to help him or her fight her demons.
Also appearing on Open Your Eyes this morning was attorney Diane Shaw. She spoke about the need to break away from cultural norms, which often dictate that women should suffer abuse because they are the ones somehow responsible for correcting men's behavior. She also corrected the misconception that if someone drops the charges for one incident, they cannot make future reports to police or be taken seriously by the courts.
The burden that society places on women to accept violence as a part of their responsibility to fix men is something that we need to break from, because it has created a lot of issues of gender-based violence and women not coming to speak out until they are severely harmed. I want also to remind the public that even if somebody goes to make a report and then this under the Domestic Violence Act and then decides to take back that report, it does not prevent them from making a second report when another incident arises, and it does not prevent them from taking action under the criminal proceedings in relation to criminal offenses that may have arisen, because I've seen some error statements being made with that. You don't lose your grounds for seeking your rights, and you don't lose standing before the court because you decide that you won't proceed in this particular instance with this report. Every incident of domestic violence is a fresh offense and creates a fresh cause of action.
Just ahead, they wanted the dogs off the street in Dangriga, but the brutal way of doing it provoked a backlash. But first, here's a weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
winners of BEL's customer rewards. Petronilo Tuz from Orange Walk won the electric washer and dryer combo. Yvonne August from Belize City won the electric stove. Melissa Arana from Dangriga won the 65-inch smart TV. Abram Dyke from Blue Creek won the 22,000 BTU air conditioner. Del Marie McNeil from Belize City won the side-by-side fridge. Ulri Bennett from Belmopan won the laptop. Norman Benguche from Punta Gorda won the toaster oven. Deborah Ordonez from Belize City won the microwave. Barbara Arop from Belize City won the Hunter ceiling fan. And Laura Godfrey from Placencia won the $400 voucher for LED lights. Look out for more BEL customer rewards in 2022 and how you can get chances to win.
It's a fact that your credit lasts longer when using Smart. During these times, we're all trying to find ways to cut costs and save the little resources we have. With Smart, it's easy to do that. It's a fact that with Smart, your credit lasts longer. You can call Smart to Smart and Smart to Digi using your promo credit, while with the other guy, you can only call OnNet, Digi, or BTL numbers. What does this mean? You get to call any national number using your promo credit. Your promo credit is free, so that call is also free. Know your facts. Don't be tricked by the other guy. Be smart and save your dollars.
Connecting people. Creating memories.
Hey guys, so here we are at the Glaze Out Kitchen. I just prepared this amazing broccoli.
Sharing a smile. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Another indication that tourism is rebounding after taking a hit during the pandemic. Tropic Air announced its new non-stop service between El Salvador International Airport and the Philip Golson International Airport. These flights are scheduled for Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays initially, beginning on February 11th. Tropic Air is offering a special introductory fare of $99 plus tax each way for the month of February. Passengers will be taking the 1-hour flight in one of their twin-engine Beechcraft 19-seat airliners designed primarily for regional routes. Stephen Schultz, CEO of Tropic Air, said in the news service purpose, quote, "We see San Salvador as a major destination with a lot of potential. Regional air connectivity is a priority for Tropic. We believe this route will grow quickly into a daily service. It provides business interests and families fast, convenient air service. It opens another gateway for South American tourists to reach Belize. Routes such as this are essential to Belize's growth," unquote. Overwhelmingly, backlash from Dangriga residents and animal rights activists have prompted the Dangriga Town Council to abort a plan to eradicate stray dogs on Thursday and Friday of this week. Some of the comments under the post blame people for getting pets that they cannot properly care for, and then dumping them like garbage to roam the streets. One comment in particular urged the town council to deal with pet owners who neglect or put out their dogs to become the nuisance they speak of. A few have suggested imposing fines upon dog owners for letting their pets roam the streets. Others who chimed in the discussion pointed to people who do not properly cover their trash bins. While still, others criticized the council for even considering engaging in the choice of poisoning of dogs, that is, by the use of strychnine, a pill that is offered with meat and when consumed causes excruciating pain and suffering of the animal until it dies. Town Administrator Francis Flores explained to News 5 Today that the responses from the community condemning the exercise were too strong to ignore.
I went on that blog and I've noticed comments coming from different sectors of society, especially, animal rights group and humane societies. And I became concerned as well. All right? And some of the things coming out, they even get political as well. All right, so I consulted with Mayor earlier, and then we decided that we'll desist from such an operation for this week. We took special concerns of animal rights groups and humane societies, and what happened is that I personally believe that if we would have had an animal rights group in Dangriga or a humane society in Dangriga, I don't think we would have taken that route, because there would have been a group that we would be collaborating with, so that they could find alternative ways of doing this, right? And we may not have done it if we would have had a group, but so we don't have a group here, right? But when I looked at what people are saying and so on, it really struck me. It struck us actually. And so we decided to desist and stop the operation. So we have to start a public education campaign, telling people how to properly dispose of their garbage and to secure those bins, because we've noticed that the bins are not secured. Right? They're not secured. They're just left out in the open like that. All right? And even strong winds, even other animals apart from dogs could throw it down and have it spread all over the place. So we'll have to, launch a public education campaign to have people secure their garbage.
Okay.
Right?
There is also the issue of where these stray dogs come from. They happen because it's the same people don't take care of their pets and cast them out, and they become homeless and hungry.
I have just spoken to someone who is gathering a few people to form a humane society in Dangriga, right? And this is a society that we will be collaborating with, so that at least we could come up with, with suitable ways, to be able to deal with this issue.
According to Flores, the plan to eradicate the strays came about after some residents had complained that the dogs had become a nuisance and asked the council to take action.
We decided to eradicate stray dogs because of mounting concerns from many people from within the society about the increasing population of stray dogs. And quite a number of people found out that, like, every morning they would get up, they would see garbage bins turned over, by dogs, and then the garbage and so on is all over the place, and dogs begin to transfer it from one location to another, and then, it allows the tongue to really look, unsanitary, unhealthy. And so we decided that maybe this is the best route to take. We collaborated with the public health department, all right, since we realized that that's the agency that we have to collaborate with. And so we did so, and then they were willing to help us, because they claim that, that once it comes from the municipality, that normally they would respond. And they were the ones who recommended the approach that we had to take, and so we took that approach.
What approach was that?
Yeah, well, what happened is that they decided to choose a particular drug, all right, particular poison.
Strychnine.
Right? Yeah, I think that's the name of it. Yes. Okay. And so they asked us to pay for the operation, and then we decided that we will pay for the operation, all right, to poison these stray dogs.
Up next, a Belizean resort hosts an environmental summit. Find out which agencies attended and why they think this might be a good annual event.
At Benquip, we offer a complete line of Honda products featuring the most trusted and reliable line of motorcycles in Belize. For outdoor and marine recreation, we have Polaris ATVs and UTVs, Honda Outboards, and Volvo Pentamarine solutions. When it's time to service your vehicle or equipment, you can find the brands you trust at Benquip. We carry a large inventory of Castrol oils, NGK spark plugs, and a full range of cleaning products from Magic. Get power when you need it with Kohler and Honda generators. We also have trimmers and lawnmowers from Honda and Husqvarna, so you can keep your yard and surroundings properly maintained. So visit Benquip today at 3 miles on the Philip Golson Highway to get the equipment, parts, and service you need.
What is the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine? The Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is an RNA vaccine that triggers our immune system to develop antibodies against the SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. It helps to reduce hospitalization, severity of the disease, and death. What is the Pfizer vaccine made of, and is it safe? The Pfizer vaccine is made up of mRNA messenger ribonucleic acid, which are molecules that carry the genetic information needed to make proteins, lipids, salts, and sugar. It is safe for persons 12 years and older and does not contain the COVID-19 virus, hence cannot cause infection. Tests have shown that the vaccine is effective against current virus variants. Who should take the Pfizer vaccine? The Pfizer vaccine should be taken by persons 12 years of age and older who do not have severe allergic reaction after a previous dose of vaccine or have not had severe allergic reaction to any ingredient of this vaccine. 2 doses of the vaccine are required 3 weeks apart. If you are between the ages of 12 and 17 years, you are required to present a signed consent form before you are vaccinated. What are the side effects of the Pfizer vaccine? Some common side effects of the Pfizer vaccine are headache, fatigue, muscle pain, fever, chills, and swelling at the injection site. If side effects persist, contact your doctor as soon as possible. Does the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine prevent infection and transmission? No, vaccination alone does not prevent infection and transmission. We are still required to continue to wear masks properly, physically distance, wash and sanitize hands often, practice proper coughing and sneezing hygiene, and avoid crowds.
When something is good and you can save, that makes it even better. Like this guy, He buys Flex bundles using his promo credit. No worries when his primary credit is finished. He gets talk, text, and data for free. For her, she calls her family internationally with her promo credit. And with data packages so affordable, she even does video calls. Smart continues to offer great deals and affordable promotions. As a small business owner, she saves when she uses her promo credit to call the other guys. All Smart customers enjoy more triple days and knowing they can use their promo credit, which just lasts longer. Smart, bringing people together.
A 3-day conservation symposium concluded today in Mountain Pine Ridge. It provided a platform for environmental NGOs and public sector entities to update each other on the work that has been ongoing as a conservation community. The effects of the pandemic and climate change were among the issues discussed. There was also an opportunity to hear from international stakeholders on conservation efforts in 3 other continents and how those best practices could be adopted in Belize. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports from the Blancanoe Lodge.
Stakeholders in the conservation community in Belize have been engaged in 2.5 days of networking and presentations that celebrate and collaborate the achievements of Belize in its conservation efforts so far.
When people ask me what do I do for a living, I like connecting people to nature. That's my biggest goal, and I'm a bit of a tree hugger, so I love forests, I love all that you have here, and Belize is really special. Belize has got a very high percentage of its landscape still intact, and when you come from Britain, you realize just how much is missing.
One of the things that has come across really strongly is how impressive Belize really is. These people have gotten an opportunity to go out to Turnef. Some of them have gone into Chiquibul. Some of them have gone to the New Maya Forest Corridor. And it's really to highlight the work of Belize and Belizean NGOs.
Belize has been exemplary in the region. Approximately 64% of Belize remains under forest cover, with 103 maritime and terrestrial protected areas. And the Coppola family hideaways, Blancanoe Lodge, nested in the highly vegetated Mountain Pine Ridge out west, was the ideal location chosen for this conservation symposium.
The Coppola Resorts, and especially Blancanoe Lodge here, is off the grid, runs on a hydro system, has its own organic garden. So it was just a perfect spot to conceptualize this first symposium. It was time for all the NGOs to kind of stick their heads together and sit around the table to compare efforts and see what we can combine. So this idea was born about a year ago in between Tent and myself here. Paul Lister is a very good friend, and here we are, it's happening.
And so it provided a space for conservation groups in Belize to network and share their experiences with international conservationists who, like them, have also been battling similar phenomenon, including the challenges brought about by climate change.
The presentation was outlining how they manage the forest fires, which, we are standing here in the Mountain Pine Ridge, and so that is one of the things that the Forestry Department has been basically conducting also for many years. But there are other areas, such as in the Chiquibul, where fires did not really used to occur at that intensity, which really marks in terms of the climate change, So we basically have seen now that that is another threat, and thus now we have to put interventions to address that. The interventions for us have been like training, because we had not really had training on firefighting, and also the acquisition of tools. So now we are building on that kind of capability.
We're going to be talking about stony coral tissue loss disease and the fact that this disease is really affecting our reefs, and that we are trying to be proactive, but it's caused by shipping vessels, ballast water, sediments, stuff that we can't control. What's in the ocean is in the ocean, but we are being proactive in Belize, and Belizean marine sites take a lot of effort, a lot of money to maintain it. We manage the more iconic Blue Hole and Half Moon Key, but it's a dive site, truthfully, and snorkeling, and those things have to be monitored.
The work of the Protected Areas Conservation Trust was among the last presentations made today. Accessing finances for conservation projects is among the support that PACT provides.
PAC has been instrumental, especially over the last 2 years that we've been battling the pandemic and the effects it has had in the protected areas and the access to financial resources to do their very important work. PAC itself has been, over the years, identifying those broader strategic opportunities that we have to help mobilize resources for protected areas work in Belize. And that is why we have expanded and evolved from just a trust fund that's generating its own revenue and investing that back into the protected area system, but we have created other portfolios of work, for example, to access and mobilize climate finance, which is a significant source of income right now, and climate is intricately linked with natural resource management and protected areas, and so that is a huge opportunity that we have been tapping into.
While it was hosted by international partners, the Belizean stakeholders are motivated to make this event an annual national symposium.
Areas of the world like Belize, which are small nations, low population, they've got something very unique, very special. And what's really important is how to capitalize on that. And that's the key I think everyone's looking to the answer for, is how to actually make this sort of green, blue nature tourism the right kind of tourism, bringing in the right kind of dollars and bringing in the right interest.
I think it has started a very important conversation that we now locally have to continue as a community. The landscape in which we're operating now in protected areas, the work on the ground, the financing is a completely different landscape now. We're in a different time and in a different space, and so this forum has kick-started that conversation for us.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.